In this episode, we'll talk about tools for travel photography.
Adorama TV presents Exploring Photography with Mark Wallace, where you will learn innovative techniques on shooting a wide range of photography.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography right here on Adorama TV. It's brought to you by Adorama. It's the camera store that has everything for photographers. You should check it out. It's at adorama.com. Well, I'm excited because the format of Exploring Photography is about to change. And the reason for that is I am leaving the United States to travel the world for a few years. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing because I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to do all this with all these specialized tools. So let me first tell you what is happening, and then we're going to dive in. We're going to spend a few episodes on travel photography and storytelling using video and still and audio. It's going to be really exciting. But in this episode, I want to tell you about the workflow and the tools that I will be using. So I'm going to be traveling with my fellow artist and a really good friend of mine. She's been on Exploring Photography before. Her name is Alexis Catherine, and we started a new blog. It's called spontaneousworld.com. It's a travel blog, and we're going to be talking about different cultures and foods and places we go and our adventures all over the world. And we want to make sure that we can shoot video and still and do a really good job of that. In addition to that, I'll be shooting still photography for stock, and I'm going to be working on creating a new book about photography. I'll be working with some local photo groups around the world to do educational workshops and all kinds of things. And so I needed to really dial in the workflow and the tools that I'll be using, because we're not going first class and staying in 5-star hotels. Absolutely not. Everything that we take has to fit in backpacks. And we're going to be on buses and planes. We're going to be riding in tuk-tuks in all kinds of different places all over the world. We'll be zipping through rural areas and maybe vegetable markets and places like that and shooting the culture there. We'll be in urban centers. We're going to be doing all kinds of things. So everything has to be small, lightweight, and extremely flexible. So I have to be able to shoot stills. I have to be able to edit video anywhere in the world. I've got to be able to publish this stuff. And so what I did is I've put together the tools that I'll be using. We're going to go over those in this episode. And then I'm going to spend a few episodes in the future to talk about how each of these tools can be used by you a little bit more in depth. But right now I want to talk about the workflow that I've created, and it breaks down to 4 basic parts: capture, ingest, editing, and publishing. Hi everybody, it's Mark Wallace. Make sure you check out Adorama's latest contest. You could win some great prizes. Well, the first step in my workflow is capture. Now I'm going to be capturing stills and video and audio. So 3 different types of capture. I'm going to have to deal with all 3 of those different things a little bit later. But the tools that I'm going to be using my Canon 5D Mark III to capture stills. I'll be taking some lenses with me. I haven't decided exactly which lenses yet, so you'll have to stay tuned to see exactly which ones they are. But I'll probably be using a 16-35, a 24-70, and maybe even a 70-200, depending on weight. So we'll have to see that. Now, we'll be traveling all over the world, and we want to make sure that we know where we were when we took the pictures and be able to update those things using Google Maps and all kinds of things. So I'm actually using a GPS watch. This is a Garmin Phoenix, and I'll be showing you in the future how you can take the GPS data from this or any GPS device and attach it to your photos using Lightroom. It's a really awesome thing called tracking. So we'll talk about that. And to do video, I'm actually using a Canon Vixia HF20 camcorder, and I can't show you that because I'm using it right now to make this video. I'll also be using a GoPro Hero 3, and this is the black edition, so we'll be using that because it's a very small camera. It's awesome. And to capture just video on the fly, I'm also going to be having an iPhone 5 because it works great to do HD video when you're in a pinch. And so those are the different capture devices. For audio, I'm going to be using this guy right here. This is a Zoom H4n. The nice thing about this is a field audio recorder, so I can capture ambient sound. I've got an episode that's going to be talking all about how to take your photos and spice them up by adding audio in Premiere, and so we'll be doing that. This also allows us to capture sound for voiceovers and also for screen captures and educational things that need voiceover work. So I'll be showing you that. And then to monitor this, I'm using some Shure in-ear headphones. We'll get to that when we get to the audio episode. And then everything is going to be stored in this LaCie rugged hard drive right here. And this is a Firebolt. This is a 2 terabyte drive. So it's an awesome little drive, and it will withstand everything. And all of that stuff is going to be really wrapped around the entire Creative Cloud suite of tools. We'll be using InDesign and Premiere and Prelude and Lightroom and Photoshop and all those different tools. And I'll be doing that using my MacBook Pro. This is a 13-inch MacBook Pro that's as light as I could get with the power that I need to actually edit those videos. So that's the tools that we'll be using. We'll be talking about more of those in future episodes. Well, the second step in the workflow is ingesting or importing. So ingesting for video and importing for still photos and logging everything. So there's going to be a ton of footage that we shoot in both video for Adorama TV and stuff that's for Spontaneous World and things that are just random things that we might want to throw up on Facebook or something. So we have to keep track of all of that footage, and we have to keep track of all the stills so that they can be used in photo books and for Adorama TV educational videos, and also for anything else we want. So I'll be using Lightroom 5 for all of the stills, and I'll be using Prelude to do all of the video logging. So I'll show you that. That's also an episode that's coming up. Well, the next step is editing. Editing in 2 different things, stills and video, and a lot of times the stills will have to go into the videos. So we're going to be spending an episode on that, how we're using Lightroom to automate everything. So we'll be using a WordPress blog, so we're going to automate all the featured images, all the images that go into the galleries, and we're also going to automate the images that need to go into video. And so everything, all you have to do is once you have your retouching done, click a button and bam, it goes to the proper location and it's ready for your other applications to use, including InDesign. We're going to be talking about metadata and how that works across the entire Creative Cloud suite of tools. So that's going to be really interesting. We're also going to be talking about Premiere. That's what I'm going to be using to do all of the audio and still combinations, as well as normal videos like you're watching right now. Well, the fourth step in the workflow seems pretty simple, but it's not. It's actually called publishing. And publishing is all about using Adobe Media Encoder to get things out exactly where you need to go. And of course, Lightroom to get things out to clients in the proper format. And we'll be showing you how to do some FTP things as well, so you can get your images out there to the world. So we have a lot of stuff coming up in exploring photography over the next few weeks, and it's really gonna be dialing in some amazing things. Well, in this episode, we looked at some of the tools that I'll be using to create the content. In future episodes, I'll be diving into the specifics for each of these tools. We'll be learning about how to use a GPS device to geotag your photos if you don't have a GPS device attached to your camera. I'm going to show you how to do field audio and how that can spice up your videos when you're using stills alone with music and field audio and doing voiceovers and things like that. We're going to be talking about how to use GoPro footage and how to optimize that and doing some transcoding. We're going to talk a lot about Prelude, which if you're a video shooter, that might be a new tool for you, but it's sort of like Lightroom for video. And so it's an awesome tool that we'll be going through. And then we're going to show you how all of this stuff works in the field. In fact, once we get to the Bahamas, which is the very first place we're going to be going, I'm going to show you exactly what made the cut, which gear, which tripods, all of that stuff, how we packed and how everything fit into our backpack. So stay tuned. Exploring photography is going to get really interesting as we travel the world. So I don't want you to miss a single episode. In fact, I know you don't have to miss a single episode because you can click the subscribe button. It's totally free. So do that and you can travel with us around the globe and you won't miss a single thing. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Where are we, Lex?
Bus station.
All right. Here we go. Oh, my flip-flops are flicking off.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy-to-use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.